Today we're going to talk about the Civil War, the battles, the fights, 1862 to 1863, with an emphasis on Gettysburg. So the first slide's a little bit of a review where we left off last time. The Northern Army, led by General McClellan, the second Union general, they went down to Richmond trying to end the war to capture the southern capital. There are a bunch of big battles down there. They're unable to capture Richmond, so they come back. Then Lee's going to make his first move. He's going to go on the offensive. He's going to attack the North in Maryland, hoping to end the war. He's also hoping to get European support. So this was the battle where some Union soldiers found Lee's plans, his battle plans written out on some cigar papers, gives that information to McClellan. McClellan didn't do much with it, but technically speaking, the North wins. Lee goes back to the South. Lincoln is done with McClellan because he didn't go after the Southern Army, so he fires him. So this is where the new information somewhat starts. McClellan is fired. I'll show you pictures of these guys in just a second. Ambrose Burnside is in. So Burnside makes the third Union general. He goes back towards Richmond. We have the Battle of Fredericksburg, another huge battle. Northern Army has 45,000 more soldiers. The South wins again. Lincoln doesn't wait much time here. Fires Burnside. Joseph Hooker is now in. So McClellan was fired after Antietam. Ambrose Burnside was in. So true story here. If you look at this guy, pretty good facial hair. Look at his last name, Burnside. This is where we get the term sideburns from. After Fredericksburg, he's fired. Joseph Hooker replaces him. He had a lot of confidence, maybe a little bit of an ego. He heads back to Virginia with the Union Army towards Richmond. May God have mercy on General Lee, for I will have none. They meet up again. Huge battle. Battle of Chancellorsville. Hooker and his army, 134,000 versus 61,000 soldiers. So a 2-to-1 advantage. Lee wins again. But it did come at a cost. One of his most trusted generals, Stonewall Jackson, we learned about how he got that nickname at the first battle. He's killed. South now has the momentum again. So Lee, for the second time, is now going to head back to Gettysburg. There is Joseph Hooker again. There's Stonewall Jackson, who was killed at Chancellorsville. So same format that we've done all our battles with, the when and the where. One thing, there's your dates. This should look a little bit different because most Civil War battles were one day. This one was fought over the course of two and a half to 3 days. The where is in the North, Gettysburg. The background we discussed. Lee is attacking the North and hoping to end the war quickly, kind of like he did the prior year at Antietam. The generals, we now have the 5th Union General, George Meade, and for the Confederacy, it's still Robert E. Lee. So there is Lee. There is George Meade. Okay, 3-day battle. Who wins? The North wins. So kind of like Antietam, just when you think the South has the momentum, maybe possibly could end the war, the North comes up with a huge victory. The importance, Lee's army was absolutely decimated once again. He's going to lose another third of his army, so he's going to limp back to the South. Also, this ended up being the turning point of the war, and I put in parentheses, Lee will never attack the North again. What I mean by turning point, this was the point, looking back now, we can see in the first 2 years of the war, the South was dominating. Then we get to the Gettysburg. The North finally wins, and from this point on, it's somewhat downhill for the South. I'm not going to say they never win a battle again, but the North has the momentum for the rest of the war. They didn't necessarily know this at the time, but looking back, we can see this. Historians can see this. Absolutely horrible battle. More people died at Gettysburg than any other Civil War battle. And you might say to yourself, well, I thought more died at Antietam because it was the deadliest single-day battle. Remember, this was fought over the course of 3 days. And the battle on the first day actually started in town, and then it spread through the surrounding areas. One of the things about Gettysburg, and it's kind of hard to tell in this picture, Gettysburg in Pennsylvania, it's somewhat hilly or mountainous, and the North for 2 days of the battle had the high ground, so they were up on this hill, and the Southern Army was down below, and that was